Day one, first pay-per-view of the year, first event of the year, literally on day one. I'm your host, Alex Lorenzo, alongside one of my best friends in the world, a man I talk wrestling with every single day. It is Ryan Falcone. Ryan, introduce yourself to the people before we get started.
My name is Ryan Falcone. Shout out to Ryan Falcone is the gimmick on the YWC. And does the YWC still exist? Is that still a thing?
I think it's a football channel now.
Oh, it's just a football podcast.
I think it's a football podcast now.
But yeah, diehard wrestling fan and been through a lot wrestling-wise with this guy right here. So we're going to talk about day one.
I believe, Ryan, just a quick background. He doesn't have to say anything to rebuttal this or to say if it's fact or not. He first got into wrestling with the 2008 TNA roster. Saw that and said, I got to give this a try. And then fell in love with, I believe, the likes of Angelina Love, Abyss, and Jay Lethal.
Victory Road 08.
Victory Road 08 was probably the first pay-per-view you've ever seen. All right, let's get to day one, and let's mark out. All right. First match we got is Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. A feud, to say the least, is like an 80s Hogan feud. It's we got the star, and we're just feeding somebody to him, and he's going to look dumb every chance he gets. We'll start back when Drew was left out of the Black Friday #1 contender battle royal against to fight Roman Reigns at a later date. Adam Pearce left him off the list. It was posted like a freaking who made the school play, like posted up on the wall, and Sheamus has to tell McIntyre he didn't make the cut. Real kind of corny stuff, but kind of funny. But before the match starts, the battle royal, he actually goes to the ring with his sword and swings it at Humberto. Literally committed a crime. And Humberto didn't do anything.
Well, it was no DQ, wasn't it?
He was not in the battle royal, so technically, I think that's a fireable offense. But Drew ended up stabbing the sword into Pierce's desk, and Pierce couldn't remove it, which was the gimmick. Corbin and Moss took the desk, brought it on Happy Talk, where they couldn't remove the sword either because they're little bitches. Drew comes out, clears house, takes the sword out with ease. Drew and New Day, which I like to call Drew Day, defeated the Usos and Madcap Moss in a miracle on 34th Street Fight on Christmas Eve, where Drew pinned Moss. Which
don't you feel like they do that every year? The miracle on 34th Street Fight.
Oh yeah, it's whatever town they're in, whatever the main street is.
It's because it's Christmas related, my friend.
That's it. But
I feel like they do that match every year, and it's a tradition, but they don't talk about it. Like, who won last year? Like, they should bring it up. Like, this guy's undefeated in Miracle on 34th Street Fight.
Well, they also have I guess they're just like Brooklyn street fights now. I feel like there's other streets that aren't on Christmas that they've done in different cities. But yeah, I guess the Christmas reference went over my head for a second. Being a Jew and all, not up to date on my Christmas movies.
Oh, my bad.
But prediction, I'm gonna say Drew McIntyre wins pretty easily.
So, is there a better chance that Madcap Moss wins this match, or that the Giants win another game this year?
We're playing the Bears, so much bigger chance that the Giants win that game than Madcap even gets a false finish.
I mean, this definitely feels like a way to just build Drew going into Mania, just giving him a big match going into Mania season, a big win. That's not necessarily a huge win, but, when I say huge win, Madcap's a big guy, so he's going to beat a big guy.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with it. Just if you're not going to be in the title picture, or if you're not going to be champion for a guy like Drew, it's better to just do this and beat a bunch of for lack of better words, jobbers or lower card guys than to be fighting for the championship and losing.
Well, let's be honest. He could beat either of these guys. So to me, there's a reason that he's wrestling Moss and not just Corbin, because everything would be the same regardless. And Madcap Moss is the second-hand guy to Corbin. So that to me says they almost want to do something with Moss if they're feeding him to Corbin. I could be so wrong on that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they probably I like Madcap Moss. I think he's entertaining. He can talk on the mic without messing up. And is solid in ring. Nothing that's going to wow you, but he can get guys over probably by just being a shitty heel. But yeah, I think they probably see something in him and want to just test him out. Unless Corbin's hurt, then I have no idea.
Because I know this match isn't something we should probably talk about for like an hour, but at the end of the day, like McIntyre's probably going to win this. I mean, he's going to win this match, and it's going to be pretty easily.
Is that your official prediction?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I'm
locking it in.
Like 6 minutes, like beat down. You know,
I'm going to say like 3:23.
Yeah, but I think they're going to stretch it out a little bit because there's only 6 matches on this show.
They should 7.
Yeah, but
including
7. Okay, yeah, we're hitting Flair Steamboat
7 matches, 4 titles on the line. 7 matches.
It's like Omega Okada, a 75-minute match. Yeah.
It's like Yanu and Chase Owens going like 35 minutes.
But yeah, I mean, McIntyre's going to win. Because of all the reports that they want this day one show to be like an annual tradition. That's a huge show every year. That's, fits in with the other big shows. The fact that Moss is wrestling McIntyre on the show says to me that they want to do something with Moss. But even so, McIntyre is probably going to squash him pretty easily.
Yeah, look, Austin Theory's not on the show. Not at least in a match percent. He'd probably be in a segment, probably with Vince.
It upsets me.
You're a Theory mark.
He should be wrestling Balor on this show.
Honestly, they probably should have done that.
Yeah.
Instead of even 8 matches would have been fine. Yeah. If Drew and Madcap go like 3 minutes.
Exactly.
All right, next match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We got RK Bro defending against the Street Profits. We had RK Bro. They came to the ring, said they needed challengers. They were wearing the old suit gimmicks for the ring announcers, the McMahon days. They announced an RK Bronament. It was Street Profits defeating AJ and Omos, which is a different storyline. That
hold on. You forget to mention that Matt Riddle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
had the most outdated reference in the history of WWE on this.
Which one?
When he called himself Howard Brosell, which popped me because I'm an old school boxing mark. So I popped, but Howard Cosell was a boxing, for those listening that don't know, he was a boxing ring interview guy from the 60s and 70s. So nobody probably understood that reference.
I knew the name, had no idea like who he was.
But I popped. So I just want to make sure.
And that means it was worth it for Riddle.
Yes.
All right. So Street Profits defeat AJ and Omos, who have their own storyline, whose match already got scrapped. Apparently wasn't doing well in live events. Whatever, that we're not here to talk about AJ and Omos. But and then Ray and Tom defeated the Alpha Academy in a big 4-team tournament. In the meantime, because there was a week off before the finals or something, RK Bro was feuding with Alpha Academy for 1 or 2 weeks.
Ford was injured, I believe.
Yeah, he was injured or sick or had his quarantine.
Yeah.
So they literally did the same thing they did with Doudrop and Bianca, our favorite feud, where they built for like a week or two if they could hit a move on a certain superstar. Like, could Bianca lift Doudrop? It's like, could Orton RKO Otis? And it just was so ridiculous to me. I kind of popped, and it was like, that's just funny that he can't at all of a sudden RKO Otis.
It's just funny that's like kind of an interesting idea for a story. Like, can you hit a move on somebody, and then when you finally do it, you get the pop. It's just funny that
old school as it gets with Hogan and Andre.
Like, and I'm okay with that. It's just funny that they like did that twice with like 2 stories at the same time.
Yeah, they finally do it. It's like they overkill it.
Yeah.
And they did it in like the Doudrop, and it was just such an unnecessary angle. It didn't help anyone. I mean, it made Bianca look good, but it would have made her look good. It would have made her look better if she hit the move in the first match
and just won
and just been dominant. Yeah, that was the point of it, to make her look amazing.
Right.
All right. So in the RK Bronament final, we had Street Profits defeating Ray and Dom in a really, really good match that just happened this week, and it had a false finish where I legit didn't see it coming from at all. Like, they hit the 619, I believe, hit the drop, cover 1-2, and then he kicks out at the last possible second. If you watch anything from last week's Raw, that's the match to watch. But yeah, so that leaves us with RK Bro versus the Street Profits. Who you got?
So doesn't feel like the time to take the titles off RK Bro. I mean, they're one of the best things on the show. It definitely does feel, I mean, maybe it's just a little too obvious, but it definitely feels like in the next month or so, we're going to start feeling like something split there, so we can lead to a Mania singles match. but I definitely think RK Bro goes over. I'm actually a little upset. I would have preferred to have seen Ray and Dominic versus RK Bro. Nothing against the Street Profits. Love the Street Profits. I just think that match, I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching Ray, specifically Ray, wrestle these guys. I think Ray would have really great chemistry with Riddle, and obviously we've seen him have great matches with Randy Orton. So, but regardless, it's the Street Profits, and I think that RK Bro will go over, and I think they'll have a great match.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. I really wanted Ray and to see their chemistry with guys like Orton and Riddle. I thought it'd be pretty cool dynamic. And Street Profits, I mean, they're going to be around a while. I don't know how long Ray and Dom, or even honestly, I don't know how long RK Bro will be around. But I think they should literally just, besides for custody of Dominic, they should have copied and pasted RK Bro's feud, singles feud against each other with Ray and Eddie from WrestleMania 21 to SummerSlam, where they're friends. They're still cordial. They handshake after the match at Mania. Riddle wins. Lose their tag titles after. They go in as champs. And then by SummerSlam, they hate each other, and Orton had turned and been a huge heel.
I just don't think they have the same dynamic that Ray and Eddie had for that to work. Like, I know, because their whole thing as a team is that they're like a weird team, and Randy's always been kind of apprehensive to the idea of them teaming from the beginning. So I just don't know if that would work the same way. Not to mention, I think Riddle is the type of guy where the fans just get behind him so well that when Orton finally does turn on him, he'll get a lot of sympathy for it, and it'll really work. And I think it'll really push Riddle to being like a much bigger single star. So this is a great story. Like, whatever they've done here with Orton and Riddle, I think in the end, as long as they don't make it like too, because you never know with them. Sometimes
as long as Riddle doesn't turn heel.
Right, exactly. It'll definitely work. The other thing with this specific tag match that I don't fully get is the Street Profits are a team. Most likely they're going to be a team for a long time. They've been the tag champions. They've lost the tag titles. They've won the tag titles. The odds of them winning this match, I don't think anyone really expects it. I didn't really see the need to like throw them in this match and beat them here versus just like Ray and Dominic it seems like they're breaking up as a team, like, which is weird. So why not just have them have that great match and then lead towards a breakup instead of just throwing the consistent Raw tag team in another title match just to lose again? Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Ray and Dom going out, RK Bro probably going out soon. Let them have that tag match.
Yeah.
Because if RK Bro's winning anyway.
Right.
I'm also picking RK Bro. I just don't see them dropping the titles. The tag team division on Raw is not great. Alpha Academy is pretty awesome. They're hitting their stride. But besides that, it's like off the top of my head, I don't even want to think too hard, but I can't really name that many. Lothario, Viking Raiders.
Oh, don't get me started on Los Lothario. Well, aren't they on SmackDown?
Team, but... Oh no, they were.
They were just in that gauntlet.
I was thinking about the Battle Royal. I forgot that was on SmackDown.
Well, now you got Los Lotharios on the mind, and now I gotta. You're gonna make me want to rant. Here for a
great tag team.
They should be pushed to the moon.
They I think give them a few weeks, and they might.
I've given them 2 years.
They just started teaming like
I know, but I've wanted Garza to get pushed for like 2 years.
You've been an Umberto fan for pretty long. I'm not even lying.
I know. I liked both of them a lot.
When he was feuding with Sheamus, you're like, I like this guy. And I was like, all right.
My favorite, like some of my favorite WWE stuff of the last like 5 years was when Andrade, Ray, Umberto, and Garza had that 4-way feud going into Mania that got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
And it just nothing ever came of it. And then everyone kind of, went.
I don't think any of them were on Mania.
No. And that was one thing I was really looking forward to at that Mania was that potential 4-way match. And then nothing ever happened with it because they were having great matches every week. Andrade and Umberto and Andrade and Ray. And like they were all killing it.
Yeah. They were. The last thing going back to what I said about the Ray and Eddie thing. I just really want to see a face versus face match. I just think Orton as a face with Riddle, just like fucking with him throughout the entire match, could be like a really fun thing.
Randy Orton doesn't want to be a baby face though.
And he's great at it.
He doesn't like it though. He's made that very clear. He's said it for years. He doesn't like it. And the thing is, I understand what you're saying.
He can turn after. Just the first match of the feud is face versus face, and then we get the heel. So it's a different dynamic, both matches.
But the Mania match needs to be heel Randy Orton versus babyface Riddle.
Depends. If there's a card filled with brutal like blood feuds, and maybe not. It might not be needed.
I just think the sympathy that Riddle can potentially get from Orton turning heel is really big because of how sympathetic Riddle is, because of how good of a heel Orton is, because of how hot of a team they are, that I think you have to turn him heel.
I mean, you could save that bigger match for SummerSlam, which sometimes is bigger than WrestleMania.
They're not gonna drag this out over. They're not gonna drag this out.
They wouldn't. They could if they were still facing.
It's December.
Well, we're talking about them turning it for Mania, so it's like for WWE, it's like 3 weeks advance. Orton turns, and they would have that match. But they could make it to August if they're still both a team at Mania.
Let's see what happens at the pay-per-view. And
I'm not going to be mad either way because the matches should be fire.
Sure.
All right. And by the way, when you think your pick for match of the night comes up, you can say that with your prediction.
Okay.
Next, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We got the Usos taking on the New Day. This feud goes back to when the Usos injured Kofi.
Does it? It goes back to like 2013.
Well, I mean, this feud of these iterations. Usos injure Kofi. With Kofi out, Woods wins King of the Ring. Usos and Roman destroy Woods' crown and throne. Woods defeats Jey Uso by disqualification. New Day defeats RK Bro and the Usos. And then New Day defeated the Usos in a non-title match. And then on the Miracle on 34th Street fight, Drew and New Day defeated the Usos and Madcap Moss. So before I send it to you, I just want to say, if they're going to have that many matches, I'm glad New Day won all of them. It's better than half and half, 50-50, or the New Day winning, or the Usos winning all of them.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sure at the end of the day, this match will be good. These guys always have really good matches. It's just, for me, I like this card a lot. I feel like it's a chance to do a lot of new things, and it's just the same thing. I mean, we've seen these guys wrestle each other a million times. I just can't get myself excited for this. And also, it's like if the New Day wins, cool, it's their champions again for the 400th time. If the Usos win, it's like, all right, great, they've retained. I'm just not that excited. I'm sure it'll be a good wrestling match, but at the end of the day, I think the Usos retain. I don't think the New Day wins. I don't know if that's a hot take. Like, I really don't know, but I just think the bloodline's rolling right now. You know, Usos retain.
They are the ones. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but these guys are so good that I do care, and I'm a huge Usos fan. And I'm a big New Day fan as well, but Usos have been my team since they literally debuted. I was like, they took out the Hart Dynasty. I was like, all right, just put the titles on them now. And then they lost, and I cried.
Did you cry?
No, but inside I cried. I was tried to be too cool back then. Now I would let the tears flow.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just like, they didn't need to wrestle this much going into this match because they've wrestled so many times. But like I said, I'd rather New Day just keep beating them, be like, we're going to take your titles. We're going to take your titles. And then New Day or Usos just finally win and be like, shut up.
And that almost makes you feel like Usos are going to retain because they got beat so much.
It's a more obvious storyline, but I still liked how they're doing it compared to who's going to win. They keep splitting these matches.
Sure.
It's like, well, they've split the feud for forever.
Sure.
I'm going Usos.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the Raw Women's Championship. We got Becky Lynch defending against Liv Morgan. Liv, I didn't realize how long ago this was, but like Liv had been subtly getting pushed for a while. She was not supposed to, like in dirt sheets or whatever, but everyone thought she was a favorite to win Money in the Bank. Big push finally coming, didn't happen. It didn't come until she won a fatal 5-way, defeating Bianca, Carmella, Zelina, and Rhea, and that happened like over a month ago. I'm sorry, 2 months ago, and then a month later, they had a bunch of promos. I'm not going to go into. They were really good. Look them up. When I say really good, I mean really good for what I would expect. Liv showed a lot on the mic, and Becky has been that pretty good for a pretty long time. All right, a month later, they had Becky defeat Liv for the Raw Women's title by grabbing the rope. Her signature, I guess, now, since she's been doing that with Charlotte. During Becky's celebration the next week, Liv came out demanding a match for day one. They brawled, and when Becky, I can't say Becky too many times fast. It's fucking me up. Where Becky crushed Liv's hand in the ring steps and then accepted the challenge. After that, not much happened except that awful video of Liv going to Becky's gym, and then she attacks a girl that just looks like Becky, who they
It was just like so obviously not her. Like you watch it for like 0.3 seconds, and you're like, that's not Becky.
Yeah. And just like the way the camera cuts made it try to look like a movie instead of like an ambush.
Oh yeah,
it's like it just didn't work. But that was like the only bad thing of this feud. I think they've done a pretty good job building Liv and pushing her back down and building her up and pushing her back down. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna say right now, I think Becky Lynch retains.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. I think this is one of those circumstances where if this pay-per-view was anywhere else in the year, I would say Liv's probably going to win. But I think too long-term versus, what they think. But going into Mania season,
Mania season, I think they're by now they're probably picturing things. Could change 100 times, but This is the only time they're probably looking a couple months into the future.
Sure. And I think because of that, that's my reason why I think Becky retains, because I think Liv's done a great job. Jersey girl too. So always have to, show love. Yeah, I gotta. I think she's done a really good job. I didn't think their match was good at all. The Raw main event that they had for the title, I thought it actually kind of sucked. But okay. I
didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, I did not think it was good at all. I thought they stunk it up.
I don't remember much from it right now.
But I have been impressed with Liv. I think that she's gotten a lot better in the ring. The fans are clearly behind her. I like that video package they did for her before that Raw main event. And I just think it's a circumstance thing. Maybe she does a great job in the Rumble. Maybe they wind up going with her. Who knows? I just think going into Mania season, they want the belt on Becky, especially because she's the heel. It just makes sense for her to have the title as the heel going to WrestleMania. So,
yeah, you don't always need to do the face build up to win at Mania, like because every year if a face wins a Mania, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. But I know Bianca had it last year, but Liv, she has enough momentum, she has enough fan support. Unless that suddenly changes, she can keep getting screwed by Becky, hopefully in different ways than grabbing a bottom rope, which shouldn't really even give you that much leverage. Mm-hmm. She can come in second in the Rumble, have someone from SmackDown win it, and then they do that where they each get their title shot, or she wins a number one contender match, something where it's like you almost won the Rumble, like here's a chance, and then she wins that, and then feuds it for Mania.
I know this is a whole other conversation, but I tend to think maybe they're gonna look to get like a Ronda Rousey or somebody for WrestleMania this year.
Oh, probably.
They're gonna want that big match. They have a lot of tickets left to sell, so they're gonna want to put as much as they can on the card. And I love Liv Morgan. Cards, right? And they need two main events at the end of the day, because they got to sell 100,000 tickets 2 nights. So I think they're gonna try to get Ronda, and if they get Ronda, I mean she's wrestling Becky. It's just she is. Yeah. So, because of that,
I don't want Ronda coming back and winning at Mania.
I know, but that's a whole other like. I'm just saying, like that's part of my reasoning of like why I think this is where they're going with it. Not to say that, by the way, that Liv can't win the title and then Becky like win it back before Mania. I just don't see them doing that.
Yeah, I hope they don't. I'd rather her not win.
Right, me too. Based on where we are in the year, I think Becky Lynch retains.
Very well said. Yeah, if Ronda comes back, we can't even get into it right now. Yeah, we're talking day one.
Yeah.
All right, Edge versus Miz. Not the Edge match of the feud we thought, but that's where it basically started. So Edge returns, makes his first appearance since after the draft. First appearance on Raw, I believe. He cut a promo listing all the great talent he could face. Since he's done with the Seth Rollins feud. Miz and Maurice come out. It's Miz's first appearance since he left for Dancing with the Stars. He talked about how Edge gets his big return, blah blah blah, all the smoke, all the promos, all the hype, and Miz gets nothing. And he asked why Miz asked why he wasn't listed himself. After a good back and forth, a really good promo, Edge challenged Miz right there, right then, and Miz declines. Miz had Edge on Miz TV, where Miz challenged Edge at day one, and Edge accepted. And Edge again then challenges Miz right there, but Miz declines. He pretends to hit Miz, and Miz falls down like a coward. Next week, on Miz TV again, back-to-back weeks with Miz TV, Miz and Maurice declare Miz into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022. Edge comes out, makes fun of them. They go back and forth until they splash champagne into Edge's face and attack him. Edge fights back, setting up a spear, but Miz pulls Maurice in the way. Miz capitalizes, hitting Edge with a skull-crushing finale, but Maurice is clearly upset at Miz. The next week, instead of on Miz TV, on Cutting Edge, Maurice is his guest, where she shares her grievances with her. Yeah, you didn't miss this one if you didn't see it. Maurice shares her grievances with Maurice shares her grievances with Miz. Edge calls her out for being fake, knowing Miz will just come out and attack him. Miz's music hits. Edge looks at the Tron playing possum. When Miz comes from behind, he quickly turns around and beats him down. Maurice then slaps Edge with a purse, and then slaps him with her hand. Miz comes from behind, hits another skull-crushing finale. To close the go-home Raw for this day one, Miz and Maurice, I mean, it was a COVID Raw, so a lot of people were missing.
Not just the go-home Raw, the go-home show. There's no Smackdown this week.
That's true. To the go-home show, they had their vow renewal, which honestly, I was watching this and it went off the air, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know that was the end of the show. I was like, I couldn't believe that main evented, and the show flew by. But for some reason, Bischoff was the officiator for the ceremony.
Why not?
Because it brings back Billy and Chuck memories.
It's a wrestling wedding. They're just like,
you should have mentioned 3-minute warning.
I mean, also a Billy and Chuck reference, like another thing from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but that's more relevant than the boxing announcer reference.
That's true. That is true.
If Eric Bischoff said, "All right, Miz, you have 3 minutes," I would have lost it.
Yeah. You and like 4 other people.
Oh yeah, and it would have been worth it. But after the vow renews, Edge comes down and gives him a brood bath. I guess it's called a brood bath now, since it's not red, it's black.
Yeah.
So I keep saying brood bath on Twitter, so I guess they're saying it.
I mean, it's like blood, not PG, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's just too gruesome. I guess, I don't know. They were wearing all white. It looked cool. Probably look cooler in red. But yeah. So not the feud we wanted, not even necessarily the feud we needed, but a very good feud so far. And I think this is not going to be a match of the night, but going to be a match where you look back, we're like, all right, those fuckers killed it.
I disagree. I mean, look, Edge is my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm not surprised that the promos are really good between these guys, because they're both great talkers. You know, I'll never say that Miz isn't a great talker. I don't think he's a great wrestling promo, because nothing he says ever makes me want to see him wrestle. He's just good at speaking. I think he's a god-awful wrestler, and no matter how good Edge is, I don't think there's a chance that this match is great, because Miz has never had a great match in his life. So I'm not looking forward to this. There's only so many Edge matches you can get left. You know, he's not going to be around forever. And I would have rather see him wrestle literally anybody else on the roster besides Miz. And it wound up being Miz. I think Edge wins in what will be a solid pro wrestling match.
There are definitely Miz matches that are very, very good. I don't know. They wouldn't crack a standard of great, probably, but there are really good. There are really good Miz matches. A lot of them are. There's one. He and Ziggler had like 2 or 3 in their feud. I know that doesn't.
Oh, that one.
But if you watch the matches, you're like, these are really good matches.
Yeah, he also had the one that Ziggler won the Intercontinental title. Yes, I do remember that one. Okay, that was a very good match. Very good, but I would not. But I still
the only other one that comes to my mind where I was like, that match fucking ruled, was a 4-way with like Cesaro and Owens and Sammy, I think, and it was at
Extreme Rules.
I was there, and I couldn't. Yes, I was gonna say Battleground, but yeah, Extreme Rules. I think it was it at Jersey?
Yes, it was. Okay. But the problem with that match, once again, was like it was Cesaro, Owens, Sammy, and Miz. And I was sitting there like,
crushed it.
I just wish Go back Miz and watch wasn't that match. In this match. Because
you need a guy like that to just eat shit and to just look like a bitch for the other 3.
So much better if Miz just wasn't in it. But
Gay, go back and watch that match. Miz shine.
Okay, fine.
All right, we're both picking Edge.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we have 2 championship matches left. Big E for the WWE Championship. Big E versus Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. All right, we got a lengthy description here because this took a while to develop. Both of these main events actually did, but so Big E cashed in on Bobby Lashley to win the WWE Championship after Bobby Lashley was kind of injured after a match. Seth ended up defeating Finn Balor, your favorite wrestler right now, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, for a contract in a ladder match. That was at the end of October. A month later, they announced Rollins and Biggie would happen at day 1. That night on Raw, Kevin Owens told Seth that he talked to Adam Pearce, and if he beats Biggie that night in a non-title match, he will be added to the title match at day 1. Seth, who thinks Kevin is lying, goes to Pearce, who says he never spoke to Owens. Seth goes back to Owens, tells him that he's a liar. Owens reiterates that what he's telling is the truth. So Seth goes back to Pearce for some reason, and Sonya's there and tells them that they should do something about Kevin Owens spreading lies. Pearce then tells Seth that he will make it a triple threat match if Owens beats Big E just because he liked the idea. Kevin Owens then defeats Big E by disqualification. Mid-match, Kevin attacks Seth, who is on commentary. In response, Seth attacks Owens, DQing him, getting him into the title match at day 1. Just classic trickery and just very stupidity on Seth Rollins.
You know what? Back to your thing about Adam Pearce for a second. Is he the only person in the world that's allowed to do his job just like however he feels at any point? Just like
him and Sonya, yeah.
Yeah, like, this sounds okay. Let's go with it. Like,
yeah.
like Seth didn't win the number 1 contender match. He's just like, you know what? Sure, cool. Let's just try this.
Yeah, he won a contract that didn't say he would have a match at day 1. It just said he would have a title match.
Yeah.
And now that one title match has turned into a fatal 4-way. He should just be like, all right, I'm withdrawing and I have a contract for a title match. Yeah. I'm going to use that somewhere else.
Right. I'm going to use it on the Raw after day 1.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce is bad at his job.
Yeah. If in real life he is bad at, he would be bad. Just, he doesn't do anything correct.
Yeah.
And he just, whatever he wants. How do you leave Drew McIntyre out of that battle royal, but half like the roster who's never on TV was in that match?
Yeah, that makes no sense unless he was doing it on purpose, right?
Bro, yeah, but I don't think it's developed into anything. It developed into a Madcap Moss feud.
It should have developed in maybe he's going to wrestle Adam Pearce at WrestleMania. And that's what the Madcap Moss beatdown at day 1 is setting up for. An Adam Pearce, Drew McIntyre match at WrestleMania.
They did file a bunch of trademarks for like Scrap Daddy.
I know, I'm scared.
Tags.
Yeah,
it could be really good if they got the right people. Pierce is an old indie guy. If they did like a thing like that, bring Samoa Joe back.
I'm just having like Vietnam flashbacks to the Authority, like the Authority angles where it was just.
Yeah, I know. They're already getting to that being already. Like their characters are way too annoying now. Now they're just agreeing on everything.
Yeah,
like they don't even fight with each other. And I also don't get why not just give one Raw and one SmackDown.
Right. Also, the heel authority figure gimmick, I've seen enough of them for my entire life.
But the face authority gimmick is even worse sometimes.
We don't need an authority figure at all.
We don't.
It doesn't have to be one.
No, I agree. All right. Where was I? So, Big E defeats Kevin Owens the next week in a steel cage match, but after Rollins attacks both Owens and Big E until Bobby Lashley comes back and takes out all 3. Lashley the next week, him and MVP demand to be put in the title match at day 1 since he only lost due to Money in the Bank cash in. Owens and Rollins do not want Bobby in the match, but Big E says he doesn't care.
Since when is that like a idea, by the way? Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I lost the title because of Money in the Bank, so I should be put in this fatal 4-way match. Is that in the Money in the Bank contract somewhere?
No, but I think everyone does. Everyone's like, this is bullshit. I got cashed in on. It's like the fucking rules. Yeah. But at least we'll get to it. But at least they made Bobby work for it.
Sure. It's just funny that was his reasoning. Him and MVP were sitting backstage trying to think of a plan to try and get in a title match, and they're like, why don't you just use the old, I got Money in the Bank cashed in on me. You
had that knee injury for 30 seconds. You have a right.
Yeah.
All right. So Big E says he doesn't care because he'll be champion regardless after. Pierce and Sonya say if Bobby defeat all 3 opponents in one night, he'll be added to the title match. Bobby Lashley defeats Kevin Owens. The second he gets the Hurt Lock on, Kevin Owens taps, said it was strategy, says there's no getting out of it, so you might as well tap out instantly and save himself for the title match. Smart man. Seth Rollins goes next. He defeats Bobby Lashley by
put him on the shelf for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Hey. Seth defeats Bobby Lashley by disqualification when Owens comes down and attacks Rollins to keep Lashley in the match. Sonya, I said this when they announced that he would have to face 3 of them. I was hoping just in the Big E match they come down and it just goes through. Like they screwed over Bobby and it's a triple threat match because I wanted just the triple threat match. But
really, you love Lashley.
I know, but I just wanted to see these 3 in a triple threat match as well. I'm not mad though. I've come around to it. I like this match gonna rule. I wanted. I was like they should do this where they get disqualified or disqualify Bobby on purpose.
Yeah,
and they did, and then they restarted the match. So I'll give props to them. And then Bobby immediately spears him when the match gets restarted and defeats Seth Rollins. Then Bobby defeats Biggie in a no disqualification match. Mid-match, Owen and Rollins come out to attack Lashley, but Biggie defends Lashley, and both end up putting Rollins and Owens through tables. MVP hits Biggie with a cane in the knee, and Lashley wins. While bonding over a common enemy in Lashley, Owens and Rollins have developed a friendship. Biggie and Bobby Lashley defeat Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Lashley accidentally spears Biggie, but ends up spearing Owens for the win right after the 3, which kind of looked like a botch, but I don't think it was. Seth stomped Lashley right after the 3 count. And they took out Biggie, they took out Biggie and Lashley. Rollins and Owens shake hands and then separate, turning their backs on each other. They tease that they're going to run back and start fighting, only to hug. And that's where we ended off on Raw.
So, this match is interesting when it comes to my prediction, because I don't think, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't think it's a super easy match to call. I love Big E. I was really happy that he got his title opportunity and that he's the champion. He hasn't blown me away as champion, though. He had a really good match with Drew on the Crown Jewel show. I was underwhelmed with the Roman match at Survivor Series, and I don't think he has. I just don't think he's done. He's been great as champion. I feel like Seth Rollins feels like he's on a roll right now. Like he's just hot when you watch the shows. I don't think he's gonna win though. But if it were up to me, I would have Seth Rollins win and be the champion going into Mania. I actually, no matter what I'm saying, I think Big E retains. Just because I don't think they know totally what they want to do yet. So I think Big E is going to retain. I would be okay with Kevin Owens or Seth winning. And I wouldn't be mad with Big E winning. I'll still give them the benefit of the doubt to see kind of where they go with it from here. But if it were up to me, I would have Seth Rollins win. And this is my prediction for match of the night. I think this match is going to be awesome.
All right. So I had Seth Rollins as my wrestler of the year for 2021.
Which is wild.
I think he was incredible. I think he had amazing matches, amazing promos, amazing feuds. However, right now I would give the title to Kevin Owens. I think it's just where the story should go, and he should continue because he right now is killing it. Seth had been killing it for all year, but I think right now Owens is on top. But them as a tandem, if they neither win, would honestly be fine with me too.
So here's my question. So Kevin in his promo on Monday, I said that him and Seth are like this, they're best friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you think, something they're building just for this match for them to turn on each other? Or you think they're going to continue with that after the pay-per-view?
I think it was to get through this feud to have 2 faces and 2 heels. So it's more even, but I think it catches fire and they're going with it. It maybe lead to another Mania match because they got screwed out of the one they were supposed to have because it was the COVID year.
I don't feel like either of them would turn babyface right now, though.
Probably not. So maybe a tag match at Mania against like the champs or something. I don't even know.
I hate that with 2, only because with 2 big Mania cards, I feel like both of them need singles matches.
Yeah, I can't even think right now who else they would feud with outside of this match.
That's a whole other conversation. I know, getting off the match. I just didn't know if you think that would continue after this match. Or
I can just see them keep. I can see their plans being a one match, like to get through the feud, have Kevin Owens and Seth, so they can do the tag match and they could do, they could have like the dynamic in the day one match, but. I think they're going to see how good it works. Or they've seen how good it works already. Unless they start beating the shit out of each other in the match where they can't come back from it. Which they could easily come back from it regardless because it's a match, so you're trying to win the title.
And they're heels anyway; they can be assholes.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna realize how funny and good it is, and probably get a T-shirt and see if that how well that sells.
Sure. So you're picking. So you want Kevin Owens to win, but are you picking him to win?
My order would be Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Biggie, Bobby Lashley, and what should happen with Seth and Kevin being very close, Biggie being not that far behind, and Lashley being decently down, just because he was already had his run, and these other three have been killing it. But I'm picking Biggie. I couldn't bring myself to write anything else. I think it's just they're just going with Biggie, and they're just making him look good. And you can have a guy get all three finishers and lose and not look bad.
Sure.
In a four-way. So I don't know who he pins. I could see him pinning Lashley when Owens and Rollins team up and like beat the shit out of him, and then a huge comeback from Biggie takes both of them out. Lashley stumbles up, big ending, something like that.
They like really protect Lashley, so I feel like he'd probably pin Kevin Owens, but we'll see.
Probably, but if Lashley gets pinned, it's because everyone beat the shit out of him.
Sure. Within
the last like 5 minutes of the match.
I just wonder where they go with Biggie from here. Like I was talking to you, a potential match maybe with like John Cena at WrestleMania. Like where does he go with the Rumble? I know he loves Goldberg. I know fans will groan at that idea, but he is a big Goldberg fan, so I wonder if they give him that match at the Rumble, like, you know.
Yeah, that's the only reason I wouldn't be that upset with Goldberg. It's probably because he either asked for it or like is excited to do it.
I think he'd be really excited to do it,
but I don't want. I just like I can't. Who are the other top? I guess heels, because if it's Biggie, who are the other? Like AJ Styles is going to be a face after this, probably.
Yeah,
it's probably going to feud with Edge, which is going to be face versus face.
That sounds awesome. But if you look at the roster, to your point, who does Biggie like? Where does Biggie go from here? Who? I know it's no pun intended, but like where does, you know, like
imagine if he did a Kofi face versus face feud.
Dude,
I wouldn't mind that on Raw.
I almost feel like if he's going to wrestle the New Day, they should just break up.
They'll never do it though.
I know they won't, but I'm just saying, like, if that is where they're going to go with it, I would.
I honestly don't think Big E's would be that good of a heel.
Why does he have to be the heel? Why can't Kofi and Woods be the heel?
I see that even less.
Woods talking for Kofi.
I guess Woods could be. Woods is a good heel. Woods would be a good heel. Yeah, you've convinced me. I could see that. Yeah, Biggie.
I just don't know where else they would go with it.
But who else is on Raw? Now I'm drawing a blank.
Austin Theory.
I mean, he could be. That could be a feud. I don't see him winning. I doubt it would be a Mania feud though. Austin would probably get a win over somebody at Mania.
Jinder.
No, pass. Next. I love Jinder, but no. Veer? He's coming.
Oh, boy.
Send him.
Oh, man.
I think they should imagine.
Omos?
The rumors were that the live matches with AJ weren't doing well. So if he's not wrestling well with AJ.
What did they expect?
He looked good to start.
Good.
Yeah, for a guy who had like 2 matches under his belt, he knew how to slam people correctly. He knew how to make it not look like like fake.
That doesn't mean you could have a singles title match at WrestleMania.
He's not having a title match.
He's going to wrestle AJ at WrestleMania.
Oh no, they're not doing that.
I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
They pulled a match with him, and they thought that he couldn't have a good match with AJ, so they pulled it. Think they're going to let him wrestle Biggie for the title at Mania?
Yes.
No, there's no shot unless he gets significantly better in their eyes.
They pull shit out of their hat sometimes for Mania. Like you forget, like the Jack Swagger Del Rio thing came out of nowhere. I know it's different.
Yeah, he won the chamber. It
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like
that's also,
you know,
the world heavyweight title back then was basically garbage.
Still though, it was a world title and it came out of nowhere. Like I have a feeling they're gonna pull something really just out of their ass for Mania this year.
I just like, who else is on Raw? Unless they do Biggie Edge.
They could do Biggie Edge, but Edge has to win the title then.
Biggie Miz?
I would sell my tickets.
I forgot you're going.
I would sell my tickets.
If it's not like, it would be dumb to be Owens or Rollins or Lashley at this point, right? Or do you think a feud wouldn't be stale by then?
I think it would be stale.
Yeah.
I still think okay. Regardless, though, I think Biggie retains at day one.
Yeah, Biggie retains. All right, main event. We both had that as match of the night, by the way. I don't know if I said that, but that's also my match of the night.
No, I did. It's okay.
All right, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. All right, so at SummerSlam, Roman defeated John Cena in a pretty solid match. Paul Heyman claims he had no idea that Brock Lesnar was going to be there. After the match, Brock ended up coming out. Roman defeated Brock at Crown Jewel with the help from the Usos. The next night, Brock went apeshit. Adam Pearce suspends him indefinitely and fined him $1 million after he F5'd him twice. A month or so goes by. Sami Zayn wins the Black Friday Battle Royal, the one that Drew was not in. It means he gets a chance to face Roman Reigns in a future show. Brock then comes back and forces Sami to fight Roman that night. Later, Sonya announces the winner of Sami and Roman will face Brock at day one. Just think of that sentence. Sami versus Roman for the title. Winner faces Brock.
Sami should have won.
I don't disagree. Sami tells Brock he has a better chance if Sami helps him win. Sami tells Brock he has a better chance if Brock helps Sami win than if Roman wins the match.
By the way, this is what we're talking about with Sonya and Pierce. They just pull shit out of their hat. No checks and balances.
Yeah.
No repercussions.
They're just like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Pop, let's go.
Yeah.
So Brock then suplexes an F5 Sami. Roman comes so he convinces I don't even know where I was. So he convinces Sami to have that match. And then he comes down and tells him, he's like, look, if you help me win, you'll be champion much easier than if Roman wins.
Heyman talking about the edibles and all that.
Yeah, and then he gets destroyed. And then the segment with Paul Heyman, Sami comes down in a wheelchair so this is after Roman came out and beat him. So that's where we were. So Brock suplexes Sami, F5s him, and then Brock leaves, commercial break. Roman comes out, spear, 1, 2, 3, end of SmackDown. The next week, in a segment with Paul Heyman.
3.
Yeah.
I just like that you said the 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, match was over.
Yeah.
Curtains. In a segment with Paul Heyman, this ball game, Michael. Sami was with Paul Heyman for some reason with the doctors, and Sami was in a wheelchair and a neck brace, talking about how Brock took Brock and Roman to beat him, which is pretty funny. Brock comes out and gets all buddy-buddy with Sami, even apologizing for how he acted. Paul gets on the mic and asks what he's seeing. This isn't the Conqueror he knows. Paul gives him the speech, the reigning, defending Conqueror, blah, blah, blah. And then that motivates Brock, and he absolutely annihilates Sami. The next week, Roman comes back from his week off, and Paul asked Paul if he knew Brock was going to be at SummerSlam. He asked him if he was a special counselor or an advocate. Before Paul could speak, Roman asks why he's protecting Brock from him. Paul replies he isn't protecting Brock from Roman. He's protecting Roman from Brock. Roman hugs Paul, who is apologizing. Roman tells Paul he loves him and thanks for his service to his family for all the years, and then fires Paul, and Superman punches him. He goes to concerto for some reason, Paul, which now he's a concertoer.
Yeah.
I guess he learned that from Magic Mania. But Brock comes out and takes out the Usos and F5s Roman twice. And you know the formula. Stand tall in the go-home show means you're losing at the pay-per-view. But this is also Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Who you got?
The tribal chief, the head of the table. We the ones. I couldn't help myself.
The ones.
No,
I often throw my hand up without even realizing it and point up when they come out.
Oh,
yeah, when they come out and they do it, and I'm just
I
like,
do it, and I do realize it. I want them to know. I want to be.
I'm talking about at home. I'm talking about at home in my bed.
Oh, me too. I want to be a one. I told you.
We are the ones.
So, I mean, it feels like the classic swerve. It probably is the classic swerve, where Paul is going to cost Brock the title at the pay-per-view. I anticipate a match a little longer than the Crown Jewel match. Ironically, I kind of like the dynamic when they wrestle of Brock the babyface and Roman being the heel, trying to run away from it, run away from the suplexes. I think the crowd will be hot for the match. I think it'll be really good. Like I said, I expect something a little bit longer. And in the end, I think Paul Heyman costs Brock Lesnar. And leading to a WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah, I think pretty much all that's right. I think the face Brock Lesnar, you're right, works way more because it's like Roman trying to be like a tough guy face fighting a guy who's tougher than him. It's just like who cares anymore?
Or a sympathetic face too. Both.
Yeah,
because everyone hated him, so it was just like
Yeah.
it just didn't work, So it's just like it was a rough thing to watch. But I think, like I said, when I watched the Crown Jewel match, it felt like the dynamic worked better.
yeah. I think the Paul Heyman thing's gonna happen. It's just like, how does Paul Heyman screw Brock Lesnar? Like, what does he take him out with? Like a chair shot. Usually, he would probably like if that was in a segment, Brock shrugs it off.
Brock's about to pin Roman, and he pulls the ref out of the ring or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that
You know?
makes more sense.
And
or a low blow.
Yeah, Brock goes to chase him, and Roman.
The run around gets in there. I don't think Paul's quick enough to pull that one off.
No, considering, especially if you know the story of Brock beating Shelton Benjamin in a race in the arena, like I don't think I could believe Paul Heyman outrunning Brock Lesnar, but like there's a way they could do it, Like
I don't remember how he turned on him with Big Show. I forget. I think he gave him the title or something.
Yeah,
Big Show.
But if you remember, so one of the Usos, like their other brothers in NXT, right?
Yeah, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they call him up early to join the bloodline and like he helps screw Brock. And it's like with Heyman and it's just like a way to introduce a new guy. It's a way to freshen up the feud a little bit.
I don't think he'll be as bad, but that just feels like adding Manu to the legacy.
But I don't think
it'll be the guy who can work.
Yeah, like I'm just throwing shit out there, but I think regardless, the overarching idea of the story will be Heyman screwing Brock Lesnar and Roman.
Yeah, he can't win clean because they can't not do it at Mania.
Even if they do by the way, if they do the match at Mania, I still don't want Brock to win. Like I don't.
No,
think
I want that to be where he beats him clean. Roman beats Brock clean.
Brock Lesnar shouldn't be the guy to dethrone Roman Reigns.
No, he already got the Taker streak,
right.
And he was the best guy ever. Now he's a face, so he definitely doesn't need it.
But we should first off, we shouldn't compare Roman Reigns' Universal title reign to the 22-year Undertaker WrestleMania undefeated streak. So
I'm just saying, like he got that to go on the run. Like there's no run that's going to topple what he was.
Sure.
Like beating Roman's not going to be more than beating the Undertaker streak. So he's not going to be like that huge conqueror again. He's just the face that is badass, and like he doesn't need a thing because he's a face now. He doesn't need that extra notch.
Yeah, I'm just a believer in that you don't need to take the title off the guy if you don't have a guy that should beat him for the title. And I don't think Brock is the guy that should get the rub for beating Roman Reigns for the title. And if you don't have that young guy that you can push to beat Roman, you shouldn't take the title off of him. He can be the champion for as long as possible. It could be like Pete Dunne in NXT, where he was the UK champion for like 3 years until Walter came around, and it was like, okay, this makes sense. Like,
and now Walter's champ for 3 years.
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly. Roman could be champ as long until there's a guy. I really think if they're not going to, and I think he enjoys being a heel too much, but Sammy could be that guy.
I don't know. I mean, that's a weird thing. I just feel like Roman is not going to get beat until
it has to be like a Daniel Bryan underdog.
Yes.
And Sammy has that in him.
Yes. And I still feel like they want to do the match with The Rock. And obviously I don't think The Rock would beat him. And I don't
definitely not in Texas.
No, I don't think it'll be this year. It'll probably be next year. I don't know if Roman will have the title all the way.
That could be such a big match. You don't need the title.
No, you don't need the title. But regardless, day one, I think Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar after Paul Heyman screws his beast.
I agree. Roman over Brock with help from Heyman. Do you think this match is going to be good? Do you think it's going to be better than the last one?
I do think it'll be better than the last one. I think it'll be good. I think the finish has a lot of impact on how much I enjoy the match, because WWE tends to do this thing where I really, really like the match, and then the finish is so unbearable that it like ruins the whole match for me. Like the Roman Finn Balor match at Extreme Rules,
I mean, they never explained anything, but they made him look strong. They made Balor. Yeah. They made Balor look strong. It took fucking paranormal activity to fucking beat him.
I thought it was just workplace malpractice with the ring ropes falling.
Basically, it took
He
luck.
should
It took all right. And the match before, not to get too off track about a different feud, but the match before where Finn lost to Roman, he kicked out and low blowed him. They kept Balor strong and then did nothing.
I would have sued the company. Workplace malpractice. The
Yeah,
ring broke while he was about to win the title.
That's on Finn.
Yeah, he should sue the company. But regardless,
you know how much Legos he could buy with that money?
Does he like Legos?
Money? Oh, come on, big Lego guy. Are you even a fan?
Yeah, hold on. Let's just get back to Brock and Roman.
Yeah, let's get back to Brock. Yeah. Cut that.
I do think the match will be good though, because I like their chemistry. I mean, I've always liked their matches. I know I was talking about the chemistry now, but I liked, like, if you watch their Mania New Orleans match on mute, it's a really good match. And
yeah, he beat the shit out of Roman for like 20 minutes. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's just the crowd didn't give it a chance, and it sucks. But at the end of the day, this match I do think will be good.
I think the 31 match was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, it was 100%.
Seth catching in makes it pretty good, makes it even better. But
makes it better, yeah.
But yeah, that match was awesome.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about you? Do you think the match will be good?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty awesome, but nothing stopping the 4-way.
I agree.
I think the Edge Miz, I said, will be really good. I think Becky and Liv will be carried by the crowd, how far the crowd will take it. New Day and Usos, I think, will be really good if they get. It depends on the time they give it. If it gets like 10 minutes, it's going to be whatever. It's going to be an average match.
Mm-hmm.
RK Bro versus Street Profits. I think the last like 5 minutes of that match will probably be pretty incredible.
I think the
Drew
show
and Madcap better go under 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think
they're setting up a good start to the year.
I mean, look, the thing that is the biggest part about this show that the whole show is going to depend on at the end of the day is how the Migos do. And if Migos...
We forgot to even mention that. Huge get.
If Migos sets the tone in Atlanta for the night,
yeah,
it's going to be a classic.
I wonder what the fan reaction. Well, it's in Atlanta, so they should know who they are.
Look, I mean, I'm joking.
I mean, they booed Bad Bunny, but I don't even know if they booed him. It was just Twitter saying, "Who is this guy?"
At the end of the day, concerts don't work on wrestling shows.
Not at all. But I would take the Bad Bunny concert for the WrestleMania match. I don't know what Migos is going to do after this, but they have like a 6-man against. I don't know who's a 6-man. The Alpha Academy and Madcap.
Wow, what a match! Did
Quavo from the top?
Chad Gable can carry Offset to a hell
of He probably could.
Just Otis doing the worm on them. Did Bad Bunny do a concert on TV?
Yeah, he was at the Rumble. He performed Booker T.
Oh, there was no crowd there though. That's so awkward. He was just performing in an empty stadium.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was just Twitter saying, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
Everyone, and then the people who knew him were like, are you an idiot?"
Yeah.
He's like the biggest pop star in the world.
Yeah. But regardless, I think the show will be good.
All right, yeah, me too. I think we're in for a good start to the year and beyond, because we'll preview a little bit. We got Raw after, obviously. So far, I don't think anything's been announced for that, obviously, because of the pay-per-view. But then we got New Year's Evil on Tuesday. Pretty stacked card for that. And then we have Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page 2 on Wednesday.
I'll be there.
So yeah, and we'll get your reaction from live and then mine from TV.
Pretty good card for that show too. On top of that, Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express.
Oh yeah, they announced that tonight.
Tag titles should be a real good match.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rooting hard for Jungle Boy.
Always.
Yeah, and New Year's Evil, I believe, is headlined by Ciampa and Braun Breaker again, and then Cora Jade versus Raquel versus Mandy Rose. I almost forgot all of their names.
And then the Walter, the Imperium.
Versus
MSK.
They brought Walter and Riddle. Yeah, Riddle and MSK has been pretty funny. I'm just glad MSK is back.
I just hope Braun Breaker wins the title.
I don't think I can root against Ciampa, but you'll see. Well, we won't be doing a prediction show because that's a television show. That's not a. So I'm gonna pick Breaker if I had to, but I hope Ciampa wins.
No, we need Breaker, and then
sometimes you gotta. I know this is called Let's Mark Out, but sometimes you gotta just. Actually, this is marking out. You just gotta be a fan and root for your guys.
I love Ciampa, but I also
And-
like Braun Breaker.
No, I know. I'm just saying I'm not gonna. I know Braun should probably win. I know booking and storylines, but you're not gonna get me to root for him over Tommaso Ciampa. I'm not talking to you specifically. I just mean them.
Tommaso Ciampa did make you turn your T-shirt inside out. And
He did, and I was
Rollins.
willing. I was willing because I love Ciampa. I talked to him about his amazing cupcake war he had with Davey Richards in Bethany, Connecticut.
As your shirt was inside out.
That's a story for a new day. Yeah, it was a Johnny Gargano shirt. I had to tear it inside.
I was there.
I know. It's where
Hashtag I was there with
not
my T-shirt.
exactly where we first met, but that trip is where we first met.
True.
And me and Matt hated you before we met you because Griff had said your name about 500 times.
Well, if you know Griff, you know that just comes with the territory.
Yeah, you know, he might overkill something, but in the end, it's something that's worth overkilling.
Oh,
All right, Ryan. This is the first of at least a month we have you locked in for. I believe your contract signed. You're here for January
until you release me with a no compete clause.
Yeah, so you won't be able to do anything until like June.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we'll be back.
We will be back after a great week of day one: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Rampage.
Yes, sir.
TNA. You have to watch Impact and MLW now. We're reviewing it all.
I'll have to cancel my
and New Japan.
My AAA time and my Arena Mexico.
We could always add those.
Yes,
These shows will be like 9 hours long. No, just AEW and WWE products. It's like this is the way to get me watching every week, and to stop tweeting and actually express how I feel, because a lot of tweets you tweet and it's not really what you mean. It comes off in a different way. So at least you can hear my voice.
Are we gonna have a little intervention about your Twitter right now?
No, I just when I tweet something, I'm just like, people are gonna read this in a different way or a different tone. Right after I sent it, I'm like, I should just start talking on a podcast, and if they want to listen, they can listen.
Your opinions in your tweets are pretty strong, so I'm not sure how someone could read it in a different.
Considering my family and who else tweets, it's less strong. But
yeah.
But some things I could like say like, oh, that sucked, but like in a joking matter, and like I don't know. It's just like you'll know more what I'm saying on a podcast than you would on a Twitter rant.
Fair.
But yeah, all right. So that was an episode. I hope this recorded.
If not, we just talked about day one for an hour.
Yeah. This was just good friendship.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, hopefully. And I'll see you next week.
Ooh.